Why I'm confused is if someone who has gone into FaZe and is at corporate level, surely you're smart. If you're at the highest level, you're a CEO of FaZe. You haven't got there because you're an idiot. You're obviously a smart person. So why can you not realise, FaZe is what FaZe is because of the people involved, not because of editors, not because of people setting up content. It is the influencers themselves who are in FaZe.
And that's the biggest issue that a Tico, a Rain, and all these original members have, because they're like, they don't understand, like, we made it this isn't what FaZe is. You're thinking that this is what all of us members would do, but it's not what we would do.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is Morokai with 2 eyes. We're back on every single Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, 7 a.m. on Spotify and 4:30 p.m. on YouTube. FaZe Clan.
FaZe Clan, they're everywhere this week.
Mate,
in the news, over Twitter.
Wasn't the dream YouTube, when we were like 15, just, I want to be in FaZe Clan?
Well, that's more or less how I sort of got into the whole YouTube thing, actually. Like, crazily enough.
That and OPTIC.
I got shown, it must have been some montage of one of the, maybe Fakey, trick-shotting on like Modern Warfare 2, and I was like, I just thought COD was a game where you just kill someone with it. I did not think you could do all this crazy stuff.
Yeah.
And by crazy, I mean, it was like 360s and all that. And just hearing like the people in the lobby react, being like, oh. Yeah, so I was like, that is so cool.
If anyone doesn't know what we're talking about, it's when Modern Warfare 2, Call of Duty, was the most popular video game in high school. Everyone was playing it. It was just massive. And then these kids in America kind of made a clan. And what a clan was, you would have a certain name in front of your title, and you'd pretty much make montages. So your best
You were like an online like family.
Yeah.
Like as such. You guys, and that's when SKYPE as well, rest in peace to SKYPE. SKYPE was in its prime then.
That was.
Like you would like log into SKYPE, and if you were in like a clan, or just even in SKYPE in general for a lot of it, your SKYPE would just have like 46 notifications. Like it was a wild time back then. It
was. And you'd build and build and build. And the goal was to get to a clan that was either named Dare, FaZe, OPTIC. You wanted like that in front of your name. If you had that in front of your name, it meant something.
Yeah, Obey for a while there as well.
And the best way to get through it is trick-shotting was the biggest. Montages were
like big, but like trick-shotting was really big.
Yeah.
You'd have like these snipers, which Luke and I, we used to watch. They had like ILLCAMS and ILLFEEDS. And ILLFEEDS was like where your snipers were, like someone like your Pomage, your Sprat, and all that. They were there, and they're getting like these things called quad feeds. So basically like where you get 4 kills in a row and it shows up in the little corner and all that. And that was awesome, but there was so much more love for those trick shotters.
Yeah, and trick shotters were just a different breed. Now, don't get me wrong. I always sat back and went, yeah, look, you might be good, but I swear 50% of it is luck.
50% is luck / like setup. I remember so many times playing on Modern Warfare 2, you're just on high-rise and like you're the last one on the team and everyone's in game chat. It's like, or you just like pretend that you don't know where we are and stuff like that. You're like walking like real slow, and they're like throwing like flash grenades at you, and it's like, mate, like I'm not moving. Like you don't need to pretend to stun me. Like I'm standing still so you can hit me.
It's so funny. So anyone just think about this, right? You get in a game mode and it'd be called Search and Destroy, and pretty much you want to plant the bomb at the bomb site,
but
right?
No one ever fucking did it.
And the other team is trying to stop you from planting the bomb, or if you plant it, they want to disarm it in a certain amount of time. So what would happen is these trick shotters would get in and their clan would just try to kill the other team members.
Yeah, pretty much as quick as they can until they had one member left.
And that one member, they would make sure they get to the highest point of the map and try to do a trick and make sure that they keep spinning around trying to get this kill. And I always found it so hilarious that maybe like your 40-year-old dad who just gets home from work, he's had a big day on the tools, he just wants to sit down,
just have a good
play
time.
a bit of Search and Destroy. And if he's playing the objective...
which 9 times out of 10 they were, but then... These guys would come in and just like act as if they owned the game, like the lobby.
And it was just, it'd be...
we're fucking trick-shotting. Yeah. Don't fucking kill us.
Abuse. Why'd you kill me? And this 40-year-old dad is like, aren't I meant to?
Yeah. Why'd you fucking kill us, Jeremy, you fucking... We're trick-shotting. Well, sorry, guys. I had no idea. I thought we were just actually playing the objective. You're an idiot. Oh, this is why we never play with you.
Oh,
it's like, what is going on? Especially me being such a novice. I was late to play Modern Warfare 2.
Yeah, same.
So the way that I played was, I just had a reg gun. God, that's a throwback. Which is just using like an assault rifle, an SMG or whatever. And you wipe in the other 10 and they're like, you're a fucking idiot. What are you doing? You're like, man, I'm just playing the game.
I'm trying to play the game.
What do you mean?
Relax. Oh, man. So, Yeah, as big as it was, these kids, and YouTube was slowly growing at the same time.
It was, yeah.
So you didn't even have to do anything special on YouTube. If you owned, I think it's a Hey Pug or...
Yeah, what was that called? HD PVR.
Yeah.
Because you ended up getting one, and I had the Easy Cap and you had the Dazzle.
That's it. So, Dazzle.
Early days.
That's real early days. So just to be able to record your gameplay, put your voice over it, and God, if you were able to put a video of yourself over it as well,
that was like
next
unseen.
Level. You were
like
getting views no matter what, just because you could upload your gameplay. Not a lot of people knew how to do it. So anyway, these trick shotters start recording their gameplay, uploading it, and then putting on YouTube. And all these people were like, "Oh my God, I want to."
Yeah, like I want to do that.
I want to be
looks
part of your group, and it's so hard to get in this group. So they just kept growing and growing.
Yeah, like it wasn't
growing.
like you could just like get in. Like it was like you had to be like doing really well for yourself for ages before like you would even like maybe get like a look. And it was sort of like if you knew someone or if someone knew of you, that's sort of how you got invited in. But
and
there's so many like clans that you would have to like be like you go from Dare to like Error. Once you're in Error, then you go to Saw, and then Saw was like a stepping stone. It was crazy,
Lucky
man.
7?
Yeah. Oh, jeez, that's a throwback. Bloody hell.
So as you're growing and growing, I'm starting to realize that these people uploading videos, they've got good personalities too. So
some of them did, yeah.
So FaZe Clan, you're watching, you're like, far out, look at these trick shots, and then you go to their channel and they're uploading vlogs as well.
Yeah.
And you got FaZe Adapt was one of my favorites. His just simple, which it wasn't getting done as well. Just going to the gym, going to school.
Yeah, it was really basic. But
and his
at
girlfriend.
the same time, he was so ahead of the curve because no one was doing it.
Yeah.
And then you'd have like the likes of Rain, who he would like have a series as well where he'd just jump in a free for all game, and every single like game he would always try to hit a kill cam. And his series blew up on Black Ops 2. FaZe Apex had Road to a kill cam, so he'd be in a 6-man playing Search and Destroy like you said, and his whole episodes were just someone trying to hit a trick shot.
Then you had Jev, who was just simply just playing the game, just talking like, about anything.
Yeah, and stuff like that. But FaZe from what it was then is completely different to what it is today. And that's where I think a lot of the issues are coming.
Yeah, so as they kept getting more popular, and FaZe went from something that everyone loved and wanted to be into, it became more like Nike.
That's a great way of putting it, actually. That's a really good way of putting it.
If you were signed up with Nike, not many people are following Nike athletes and even know if... Are you with Nike? But something about the tick, having that in front of your name.
Yeah, having that with you is huge.
Yeah, and so if you had the FaZe name in front of you, that's massive.
Yeah, the FaZe name basically made you like even bigger than what you already were.
Oh, huge. People started researching you just because of the name.
Granted, obviously there are still quite a few creators who are part of FaZe that would no longer need FaZe. Like they've established themselves.
Oh, so many
and stuff like that. But for a long time, like mate, on Twitter as well, it'd be like, congratulations to blah, blah, blah. Like, Blue has joined FaZe. And then all of a sudden, he might have like 10,000 followers on Twitter. And the next thing, it's like 200,000. Just purely by having FaZe, 4 letters in front of the guy's name. Like, it is crazy.
Yeah. And so with their success, they kept growing, getting more celebrities attached to their name.
Yeah, getting bigger brand deals.
And they're pretty much went to being a public company where there's trades and
they're now on the stock market, which is crazy. They're not doing incredibly well at the moment on the stock market. They've dropped really low.
Well, this is the thing. This is why it changed so much, because there was that popularity and people connected with each creator, each member of FaZe Clan. And as they got more and more popular, they kind of a lot of people lost that connection, and it was just the logo.
Yeah, it really did just become more the logo than the actual brand itself, what they were about. I think FaZe really spiked as well when they had the sort of that team house in New York, and there was so many vlogs being done as well as just gaming content in general, because it was just a house of realistically best mates, all just living their normal, quote unquote, normal lives of just video gaming, watching movies, going to the shops, maybe walking for a coffee. I feel like it really it sort of shifted, and it would, because I mean you're getting a lot of money.
Yeah.
And a lot of money at a young age, I feel like never really ends well for anyone. It just seems to be like a common theme, especially when your parents also don't really quite understand this whole YouTube space, and you're getting money, but all you're doing is play. Like, it doesn't quite add up. Like, it's like, no, that doesn't make any sense. So obviously if they don't have parents that are sort of looking after them and like their money coming in and stuff like that, they're just spending money on like all these artificial sort of like clothing, jewelry, and all that, instead of like investing in houses or other things. And I think we really saw that when they went from New York to LA.
Yep.
And I feel like Hollywood, by the sounds of it as well, just based on like a lot of content creators in the YouTube space, and just people in general, people go to Hollywood to make it, to really make a name for themselves. And I feel like Hollywood sort of made them all really like, hey, I want Gucci, I want Louis Vuitton. Hey, look at these shoes. Hey, I've got this car. Hey, now I'm going to get in with celebrities. I'm going to live this party, lavish, like, I'm going to live a lifestyle that on camera looks really fucking good. Like, you're like, oh, I'm so jealous. I want to live that lifestyle. But then when the camera isn't on, it's actually, like, I don't know. I feel like shift, especially when they moved to LA, it just sort of, And then the whole clout gang thing with like Banks and
shifts. Yeah, I keep hearing it like on videos. They repeat it. So many influencers. They're like, LA is just full of fake people.
Yes.
It's just, that's where everyone goes to get famous. So everyone who ends up in LA is just trying to make friends and be as fake as possible to get in the clicks, to get the shout outs.
Yeah, and you're pretty much leeching. It's like you leech from that group, take what they're all about. Thank you. You've boosted me. On to the next group.
Yeah.
And people are seriously screwing people over time and time again. Like, I feel like LA is a very not trustworthy place.
Oh, no.
Like, I'd be so worried, like, the whole time. Because at any stage, it's just like, I'm going to be used and abused and then just kicked to the gutter.
Well, you hear so many times of people that are comfortable with money. Like, they don't really need it. When they go to LA to do collabs, the minute they get home to, like, their, like, country town or, like, where they grew up, they're just like, fuck that place. I'm never going back there. I was like,
Logan Paul's spoken about that so many times. Jake Paul as well. Like, it's crazy. But, yeah, FaZe kept on growing and growing at just such a rapid rate to today. They've got a bloody pair of LeBron James, like his shoe itself. They've got a FaZe club. They've partnered now with Porsche. They've done DC Champion. They had a merch drop with Juice WRLD.
Naruto. They've done everything.
Like, it's crazy, as well as just having their own skins as well in certain COD games. And
well, where they've gone wrong is they've focused on collab after collab after collab. Slowly, while the creators of FaZe, you're just not seeing any content.
Yeah, even the main channel videos now are horrendous.
The
really
main channel
bad.
videos, they're horrible.
Granted, I know, obviously, montages today, like, no one's watching it, so I know that you have to adapt and do different stuff, but they're so far from what they were that, and a lot of these OG members, your Temper, Rain, Tico,
Banks,
Apex, Banks, like, a lot of them, even I'm like, I know that they've got FaZe in front of it, but like, I wouldn't even know if like they're still actually FaZe.
Yeah.
Because now when I think of FaZe, I'm thinking more like Nuke Squad, like Swag or like Rug. But I hate Rug a lot and all that. But like all these ones, like, like there's so many people, and it's like, I don't even know like who you are.
Yeah. Yeah, there's too many of them. And it doesn't mean as much anymore. And now that's starting to get noticed because obviously Rain's gone on this absolute bender.
Yeah, absolute tear.
Got a hard on to ruin them.
So, but I think
do you think it's a bit too much at a point? Like I feel like his personality is hating FaZe at this point. It's like,
I do feel like from watching the videos and all that and being quite up to date with it all, my take on it is, obviously they're growing at such a rapid rate and all that. People are coming into the company because obviously they need funds to like have all these collaborations. So the more people are coming in, the more they're taking like ownership and all that. And granted, and Seabass put this really, really well in his video, which I didn't overly like his response to Rain and Tico myself. But Seabass is a co-owner of FaZe as well as Temper, Banks, Apex and Rain. And Seabass, he's the one that's going constantly into the offices, working alongside all these businessmen, because FaZe now is more of a business than an actual, like...
More corporate.
Yeah. Well, that's a great way of putting it. So, yeah, a lot more corporate now. They're just looking for better brands, just what can bring them in more money and stuff. But because of them bringing in more money, the content's been pushed to the side and isn't getting focused about as much now. So you have all these OG members who are like, hang on a sec, like, I've been here for almost 10 years, 12 years. I'm getting, like, we're on the stock market. I'm getting, like, next to no shares at all. But a guy that's been in for 2 years has way more shares than me. They're getting thanked for all this. Tico was doing photo shoots for the champion drop that they did and all that. He took time out of his day to do the photo shoot. He organised it all. Didn't get paid a cent for it. A cent. It's his face that's on the merch.
Yeah.
He's the one that's helping get in the sales. Not even a cent, man. Like, that's bad.
Because I haven't watched them, but I keep seeing Rain in my recommended responding and watching everyone. Like, why I think FaZe Adapt's a rat. Like, watching
that was interesting.
Watching the Seabass and reacting to just multiple videos, and it's just hate. And I'm like, far out, man, chill out. But part of me was like, if we built Morokai up completely, and then in a corporate way, people we don't even know started taking it over, and they're getting all the money from that, I guess I'd be just as mad.
Well, because you're like, in the sense, I can understand where like a Rain and Tico and all that are coming. Like, you guys have put in so much hard work to really rise it to where it is.
Can I pause there for 2 seconds?
Most definitely, yeah.
If I'm honest, hasn't FaZe Rain, like, I don't know when this timeline started, but from what I remember of FaZe Rain, obviously did an awesome job, then smoked too much weed, had some really bad problems medically where he couldn't walk.
Correct.
But then I remember FaZe videos of him just getting drugged out of his mind and making FaZe look awful.
No, that did happen.
Awful. But I'm wondering if it's like he got screwed over and then this happened and he's like, well,
yeah,
but
well,
if he did it before, I'm like, bro, you're actually like damaging your brand, which you did with your friends.
So you're so spot on. And I think, well, even FaZe Blaziken, which then became FaZe Blaze because the guy was bloody high as a kite 24/7, and all that, which I feel like also happened. They probably were smoking in the New York house, but it was a lot more prevalent when they were in LA because, again, you're around that sort of group. And especially when you hang out with some celebrities and some rappers that they were hanging out with. But, yeah, all these businessmen and they're quote-unquote boomers, like 50-year-olds, 60-year-olds are coming in and being like, this is what we need to make because this is what makes money, instead of like, it doesn't quite connect with like that younger audience that they grew with.
Yep.
So a lot of the content now is just like more like deals and like, hey, we're with Porsche. Like, we want you to advertise Porsche, even though they're like, dude, I didn't even know that we were signing with Porsche. Like, I'm not told anything. Like, they don't sit in on the board meetings or anything. None of the actual OGs know what is actually going on with their own, like, which to me is fucked.
Yeah. I'm not following a lot. I'm following the people that are involved, and now none of them are involved. And I think a lot of people are seeing that. And now you got FaZe Rain just going nuts at them. And from that, it's a trip, like a follow-on effect where people are so angry, and then it just takes a couple more people that you respect to speak out and go, actually, what he's saying is true, and I've got this to add. And then no wonder their stock has plummeted, because I don't care what Snoop Dogg does.
Exactly the same as you, mate.
What has Snoop Dogg done for FaZe?
LeBron James' son, Trippie Ray. I don't care. Like, don't get me wrong, it's cool.
Yeah.
But the fact that they have more shares, more ownership of FaZe than what the people who were doing it all the way back in 2012 have is completely wrong.
Give me a FaZe Adapt vlog and I'll be back in.
Exactly, man. Like, like these celebrities, they might jump on one video for one collab and that's it, but yet they have more ownership. It just doesn't make any sense.
If they're joining them, shouldn't there be like, okay, if someone like Snoop Dogg joined, and I don't know if there's a video of this or not, if I had Snoop Dogg join, it'd be like, all right, once every 3 months, because obviously you're a busy guy, once every 3 months, you're jumping into a Modern Warfare 2 lobby where it's you, Adapt, and Rain versus like Banks, Temper, and fucking whoever else, and you're having a fun match and just hitting that nostalgia vibe.
Yes.
But instead it's like, your face Snoop. Okay, cool.
Yeah, well, they did like that initial video with him. I think they did like maybe like a basketball video with him.
I think even I saw like on their channel.
But there was only like 3 of the FaZe members that were doing it with him.
Aren't their views so low as well?
Yeah, well, the views, like I just, FaZe, no one really cares for them, which is a shame because their esports side of things are incredibly good. Like the CSGO
but no one cares
team,
about the esports.
Yeah,
that's the biggest thing.
The
no one gives a fuck about the
because,
esports.
Yeah, so it is bad because you still have the likes of like an Optic, a C9, Team Envy, Team Liquid. Well, obviously Envy's now Optic, sorry. 100 Thieves and all that. But FaZe being FaZe, which man, you could talk to any kid between the ages of like, I would say 10 to like later 20s.
Yep.
And if I mention FaZe, realistically like 8 out of 10 people would be like, yeah, I know FaZe.
Yeah.
And all that. But if you're like, oh, do you know like Team Liquid? It'd be like, who? Sort of thing. So the problem is because now FaZe is sort of on this decline, it actually affects everyone else around them.
Definitely.
As well, which it's just bad for the complete entire space. But this is a problem. When you're bringing out people from the outside who don't really know about this YouTube space and all that. It just tarnishes.
Well, that's what confused me before we go. That's the thing that confuses me the most, because I'm watching these videos, right, and I'm seeing like the hate they're getting, and it makes sense. But why I'm confused is if someone who has gone into FaZe and is at corporate level, surely you're smart. If you're at the highest level, you're a CEO of FaZe. You haven't got there because you're an idiot. You're obviously a smart person. So why can you not realize, FaZe is what FaZe is because of the people involved, not because of editors, not because of people setting up content. It is the influencers themselves who are in FaZe.
And that's the biggest issue that a Tico, a Rain, and all these original members have, because they're like, they don't understand, like, we made it what you're like, this isn't what FaZe is. You're thinking that this is what all of us members would do, but it's not what we would do. And that's the reason why there was such a big issue with Rain and Adapt, because Rain wanted to make a video being like, guys, like, we're giving them too much control. Like, we're stepping away from what we are. This isn't what we were about and all that. We can all make the money that we deserve, that we've earned and all that, but we got to do it this way. And Rain wanted to make a video about it. Adapt claims that he was like, no, I don't reckon we should do a video about it. We should do it a different way. But then FaZe Range video sort of was stating more or less that Alex Adapt, he got offered from the CEO a better deal where he could make, at the time, more money than what he would have if he went Rain's way. And he was like, yeah, I want the money. So Rain was angry at him because he's like, I cannot fucking believe that you wanted to take the money and now you've just fucking ruined it for all of us. Yeah. So that's where Rain got really angry and annoyed. But I know that as well that they did have a CEO that was sort of giving them misinformation. It'd be like, Rain said that you're not working hard enough, so yeah, that's the reason why he thinks that you shouldn't get paid that much. But then he would then on the flip side then be like, oh yeah, Adapt was saying to you, Rain, that like you never take place in any video. So he's actually like plotting members against one another. But then those members weren't actually meeting up in person, having a conversation like we are, to be like, hey, really random, but I was having a meeting with the CEO. Apparently you're talking trash about me. What's that about? Yeah. So instead of actually having that conversation in person, they were just taking the information that guy was spreading, and then it caused just a massive like explosion amongst all the members, and it's just turned ugly, man.
I think if you ask many people that, you know, followed FaZe since the beginning like we have, it's like if you ask me back in like 2017, whatever it may be, what's your favourite part about FaZe? I'd be like, well, I love the montages and I love discovering new music because they always put new rappers on.
They did have banger music.
Yeah, and it's always sick. I love FaZe Adapt's vlogs. FaZe Banks just keeps it real. He's hardly on, but when he does upload, it's fucking sick. It was good. There's just so much about it. You ask me now, I'm like, I don't know any current members except FaZe Swag, and I'm like, I've seen enough. You know, he does live streaming now. I don't watch live streaming. Yeah. So I actually don't know any members in FaZe.
The people that we grew up with FaZe, like even like Agony. Like I know like he'll still upload.
Oh, those twins, yeah.
Like they'll still upload COD videos, but it's just their views, man. Like gaming just isn't what, unless you're live streaming or playing like a Fortnite. I feel like even Warzone's dipped in views, man. Like that's a problem. Like gaming in and of itself, just it isn't. Yes, there's a lot of people gaming. But I don't feel like it's at the heights of what it used to be.
Not even close. Oh, but that could be us because we're getting older.
That also, yeah, well, that's true.
That could be us because that could be us, which is depressing.
It is quite depressing, but yeah, I know that. I personally, as someone that did grow up with FaZe, it sounds sort of stupid, but like I do hope they can fix things up and move forward, and maybe all the OGs can come together and fix it to continue it being like what it used to be instead of what it is now. But at the same time, like, hey, if you were telling these guys back then that were just doing 360 body spins on a video game that would be to what it is today, they'd be like, mate, you're taking the piss.
Yeah, exactly.
So you're damned if you do, you're damned if you don't. I just think they've probably got too many people outside and have just been like nodding their head or just like, doing, I mean, and
well,
you
they've
would
made too much money to care now too.
Yeah, and like you'd be getting contracts left, right, and centre, all these promote, and I could guarantee, because I know for a fact I probably would as well. I would probably look at like the dollar sum that you're getting for like these certain things and be like, that's too good to refuse. Yeah. Without knowing like, hey, by doing that, we're going to take 5% ownership of Morokai. And now the content that you're going to be posting on Morokai is actually stuff that we want you to do. You guys don't have your creative freedom anymore.
Yeah.
Like, you can fall into the trap so easy.
Mm.
And you got to remember, these guys are young.
Yeah.
So if you're having, like, these, like, older 30-year-old, 40-year-old, like, people that have, like, actually run other companies' businesses and all that, 9 times out of 10, why would you argue against what they're telling you? Because you'd be like, well, fuck, you've been around longer. You've got more knowledge than me.
Yeah.
I trust you.
Yeah, and at a point you make so much money that it's like, what, do I even care?
Yeah.
I feel like a lot of it is for some of them. So, anyway, guys, that was Morokai with 2 eyes. Thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you next one.
Boom.
Boom.